Have you ever noticed that your hair doesn't seem to behave the way it used to after turning to age 30? Maybe your edges aren't as full, maybe your part seems a little bit wider, or your ponytail feels smaller. Maybe you've done all the things that you could do and suddenly your hair seems thinner, drier, and harder to maintain. And so now you're wondering what has happened. Well, in today's episode, I want to talk to you about 3 reasons your hair may be thinning after 30 and why simply buying another hair growth oil or another product may not fully address what's actually happening. Because your hair can give you clues about what's happening with your overall health, your hormones, your nutrition, and even the way you're caring for your scalp. So let's get into today's episode. Hello, beautiful. Now, before we get into today's episode, I want to take the time to share with you that I created a Why is Your Hair Thinning quiz to help you start thinking through some of the possible factors that you could be experiencing right now. So I'm going to be sure to share the link with you below in the show notes. Now, if you want to go deeper and really look into your specific hair story, your scalp concerns, wellness habits, current routine, you can also book a one-on-one hair and wellness strategy session with me. And from there, I'll help you identify where you may need more clarity and what your next steps could look like. So I'll be sure to share the link for you in the description. Now, let's get into today's episode. So, all about hair thinning after 30. Well, the first reason, it could be hormonal and age-related changes. Now, I want to be careful here because what I'm not saying is that every woman who experiences hair thinning after 30 has a hormone imbalance. That's not true. But what I am saying is that when it comes to our hormones, it can influence our hair growth cycle, the changes in our hormones in general. It changes throughout adulthood. And this can affect how our hair grows and how it fully appears. And so this is very important for women because our hormones can shift during different seasons of life. And we have a bunch of different seasons. We have pregnancy, then we have postpartum. Then you have changes in your menstrual cycle. Then you have those that go through changes dealing with birth control. There's also perimenopause, menopause, and just the changes in general when it comes to aging. And a lot of times when you see these changes, is nothing that's happening dramatically, but it happens very subtle and you don't really see it like overnight. So these are some examples. Like you may notice that your hair isn't growing the way it used to, or your edges isn't recovering as quickly. Or maybe the way you part your hair, you notice that the part is becoming extra wide than 5 years before. All of these are subtle changes. But when you start to notice this, I want you to ask yourself, instead of asking yourself, what product should I buy? Start asking, what exactly changed? Because your hair is actually telling you a story. And the question that when you're assessing your hair like this is, when did I first notice the thinning? What was happening in my life around that time? Did my routine change? Did my stress level change? What was I going through in that season? And question like that, it can really give you a lot of useful information than simply adding another product to your shelf. And this is the reason why I love to teach women to look at their whole hair story and not just focusing on the hair strands. Now, the second reason that someone could be experiencing thinning after 30 is its nutrition and overall wellness. See, when it comes to our hair, it's not separate from our body. Our hair tells our whole entire story when it comes to our body. Our follicles, they require energy and nutrients to support our normal hair production. So that means if you're consistently or not consistently eating the right foods, then your hair will tell on you. And I'm not talking about buying like 15 different supplements, but just focusing on what's on your plate. Just on that alone, your hair will tell on you where you could be deficient at. And so when it comes to this, you have to start with the basics. Start asking yourself, am I eating enough protein? Not only the foods that I'm eating, but are they nutrient dense foods? Are they foods that's for a purpose. Like, it's not just for me in the moment, but does it have a deeper value when it comes to my whole entire body, and not just fixing my hunger for the moment? You know what I mean? You could also ask yourself, am I consistently eating, or am I skipping meals all day trying to catch up at night? Am I drinking enough water? And also, is there an underlying issue I need to discuss with my healthcare professional? Because sometimes when it comes to hair thinning, we could try to figure this out all our own when we really need an extra set of eyes to look at our issue. And also, another thing when it comes to thinning is that it's not simply a cosmetic issue. So, if you're noticing persistent shedding or thinning, it's worth like partnering with a healthcare professional so they can evaluate what's really going on. And this is important because we don't want to assume that every hair problem can be fixed with a supplement. More isn't always better. So, our goal is to simply understand what our body is telling us. And so, that's a completely different approach from looking at a TikTok video that says, take this vitamin and grow your hair in 30 days. But you really want to understand, well, how did I get here in the first place? So, that's very important. Now, the third reason why someone's hair may be thinning after 30 is that their scalp and hair care routine may no longer be meeting their hair needs. And this one is easy to overlook because sometimes we could be so used to doing the same thing for so many years. We do the same hairstyles, the same products, we wash our hair the same manipulation, same tension, heat routine, but over time, our environments can change. And when our environments change, our scalp can change, our lifestyle change. And with these changes, it also means that we have to change some of those habits as well. And so this is another thing that you want to look into because this can cause breakage or scalp problems. And here's another important distinction when it comes to breakage. Hair shedding and hair breakage, they're not the same thing. So if you're seeing shorter pieces around the sink or on your clothing, they may be breakage. And if you're noticing full strands coming out of the root, well, that's a different situation. So if you're noticing progressive thinning, widening part, recession at the temples, or just like your hair is thinning overall throughout your scalp, don't just assume that it's because your hair is dry or it's because you just started doing one thing. But that's when I would encourage you to stop guessing and really start to investigate. Because when it comes to your hair routine, it should be supporting your scalp, not constantly fighting against it. So let's do a quick recap. If you're noticing your hair becoming thinner after 30, do not immediately panic. And don't immediately buy another hair growth product. But I want you to start asking these 3 questions. The first one is, could hormonal or age-related changes be influencing what I'm seeing? The second question to ask yourself is, am I constantly nourishing my body and supporting my overall wellness? Or am I doing it sometimes? The third question to ask yourself is, does my scalp and hair routine actually support the hair that I have today? Not when I was doing relaxers, but how am I supporting my hair today with my current routine? Because your hair story is personal. 2 women can experience thinning for completely different reasons. And that's why I don't want you to simply throw products at every problem that you see that yourself is having. Or just because another person is having it doesn't mean that that's the same resolution for you. You need clarity before you need more products. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. And I want you to remember, don't just ask yourself what product will grow my hair, but start asking, what is my hair trying to tell me? Because healthy hair starts with understanding the story behind your hair. Okay? So I pray that this quick quick episode has blessed you, I invite you to my hair and wellness community. And once again, be sure to take the Why is my hair thinning quiz. That'll also be linked in the show notes below. So I pray that this has blessed you. Be sure to share with someone that comes to mind, and I will talk to you next time. Bye, beautiful.